good news, there are no reports of any major injuries, but again, the bad news is that this closure could last another 5 hours, so it's best to avoid the area.
And those cars at a standstill, that's for sure. Our other top story for you tonight, deputies are investigating a string of store lootings this weekend. Thieves
Hitting stores from Carson to South LA, including an AutoZone, a T-Mobile store, and a shoe store.
Our Lauren Posen reports some of the crimes started with street takeovers.
Well, here in Carson, you can see the aftermath. Take a look behind me here in the middle of the intersection, those deep skid marks from the street takeover. Deputies saying at least 100 people were at this intersection. And then when you go across the street, well, WSS shoe store, they're boarded up and closed for the day because they got burglarized. It's been a weekend of looting across Los Angeles.
It's all boarded up where like maybe a car hit it.
Edwin Hernandez heads to Navy boot camp in the morning and stopped by the WSS shoe store in Carson only to find it closed.
And I came to get last minute shoes for, running to go train over there. I'm allowed to bring my own shoes. So we're in the area where the hotel is at.
LA County Sheriff's deputies say around 100 people flooded the corner of Wilmington and Del Amo during a street takeover overnight and say it's connected to the burglary at the store around 3 a.m. on Sunday.
They're going to resell, make more money, but I mean, it's like inconvenient like for us that we are not from here and we need to look for we're here for shoes for my brother. Like it's just so inconvenient for us.
And just minutes before that burglary, a T-Mobile store was burglarized at Figueroa in Slauson. The front windows were shattered with glass all over the sidewalk. Just a short distance away, another street takeover took place at the same intersection, but it's unclear if the two incidents are connected. Both burglaries happened less than 24 hours after a South LA AutoZone was looted during a nearby street takeover on Saturday. Police say calls about the takeover came in around 1:25 Saturday morning, and just 2 minutes later, people broke into the AutoZone. Video from the scene shows some of the stolen merchandise recovered, including a car battery and boxes of rims. Back over in Carson, deputies say they've arrested 2 people, but are still searching for more suspects. They've also recovered some of the stolen merchandise. Customers say what's happening just isn't right.
They're stealing stuff, stuff that doesn't belong to them, selling it for their own profit. That's criminal, literally. It's criminal.
LAPD is handling the T-Mobile and AutoZone burglaries. So far, they say no arrests have been made. Now, in all 3 of these burglaries, we still don't know yet the dollar amount of how much merchandise was actually stolen. Reporting in Carson, Lauren Posen, Kcal News.
Lauren, thank you. Teens on mini bikes take over the streets of Los Angeles. Take a look at your screen here. We had Kcal overhead as a group earlier today was riding through downtown Los Angeles into South LA. Some of them doing those wheelies as they were moving pretty quickly down the road. The group first formed this afternoon at a gas station near Culver City. Police say they were monitoring the situation. So far, no word of any trouble that's been caused, and nobody's been arrested.
A rock slide blocking one lane of Laurel Canyon Boulevard in Studio City. Kcal over that slide, showing the debris scattered into the northbound lanes of Laurel Canyon just south of Mulholland. The LA Fire Department says the rocks actually slammed into a car around 3 o'clock this afternoon, injuring a driver. She is expected to be okay, but as you can see, one lane of northbound Laurel Canyon closed and could potentially be a nightmare for drivers during the Monday morning commute.
All right, let's turn to weather now. Taking a live look outside at Long Beach, where the sun is setting on what was a beautiful weekend here in Southern California.
And meteorologist Olga Spinas here now with our next weather forecast, where she's tracking a bit of a warm-up.
A bit of a warm-up is right. Just a few degrees, but that should get us a little bit closer to what we should be feeling for the month of July. And as we head, of course, into August as well. So already today, some of us feeling the increase in numbers. We had some 90s for parts of the Inland Empire. That includes San Bernardino and Hemet, low 90s for the Antelope Valley, and upper 70s and low 80s from Simi Valley into Burbank. We had 77 degrees in Big Bear City, 107 in Palm Springs, but really not much of triple digits here locally. Next 12 hours in Santa Monica, the clouds and the fog are returning in the overnight hour and into the morning hours. So by late morning, things are starting to clear. Even by 8 a.m., we're seeing a few peaks of sunshine, and then temperatures starting to rise into the upper 60s for places like Santa Monica, but I'm also tracking still some 80s and 90s, and I'll let you know how warm we're going to get with this warming trend in just a few minutes.
Olga, thank you. Tonight, an update on the scare at Denver International Airport. Passengers were forced to evacuate an American Airlines plane yesterday. The jet was smoking when passengers slid down the emergency slide. American Airlines says a tire blew on takeoff and the rapid deceleration caused the fire. One passenger said he heard a loud boom. Then the plane started to violently shake. All 179 people aboard got out safely, and one passenger had minor injuries. The FAA is investigating.
Well, 3 bodies have been recovered after a plane crashed off the coast of Central California. The plane went down late last night off the coast of Pacific Grove. That is just north of Monterey. Flight data shows the plane took off from San Mateo County. It was in flight for about 30 minutes before it plunged into the ocean. The plane went down shortly before it was supposed to land at Monterey Regional Airport.
Authorities in Michigan are seeking terrorism charges against the man accused in a stabbing rampage at a Walmart. Authorities say 42-year-old Bradford Gilly stabbed 11 people in a random attack inside the store yesterday. The motive behind the attack is still unclear, but prosecutors are considering terrorism charges for how the attack affected the community. Police also say the suspect was surrounded by Good Samaritans in the parking lot, including one who was holding a gun, waiting for first responders who arrived within minutes.
First of all, I commend them. It's not very often that we have citizens that are willing to step up and take action. When you look at the collaboration that took place from the citizen involvement to all emergency services, to our transport teams, to Munson Medical Center, to the media, it is unbelievable, and I think that speaks volumes for the community that we live in.
Authorities say 2 people remain in serious condition tonight. All the victims are expected to survive. They range in age from 29 to 84.
Well, President Trump is celebrating a trade policy victory in Scotland after building the framework for a deal with the European Union. Weijia Zhang reports the president is also lashing out at Israel on the crisis in the Middle East.
On the 3rd day of his trip to Scotland, President Trump announced that the United States and the European Union reached a framework for a trade deal after talks with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen.
But I think it's the biggest deal ever made. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
It's a huge deal. It will bring stability. It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic. It's 15% tariffs across the board, all inclusive.
The deal comes ahead of Friday's deadline when 30% tariffs were scheduled to be imposed on imports from the EU. As part of the new agreement, President Trump says the EU also has agreed to purchase $750 billion worth of American energy and to increase its investments in the U.S. by more than $600 billion. Also on Sunday, the president addressed the situation in the Middle East. When asked about reports of starvation in Gaza, the president suggested that the aid the U.S. is sending to the region is being stolen.
People are stealing the food. They're stealing the money. They're stealing the money for the food. They're stealing weapons. They're stealing everything. It's a mess. That whole place is a mess.
The president said it is a critical time for Israel.
Israel's going to have to make a decision. I know what I do, but I don't think it's appropriate that I say, but Israel's going to have to make a decision.
President Trump's remarks come days after U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff cut short Gaza's ceasefire talks in Qatar, after Witkoff said Hamas's response showed a lack of desire to reach a truce. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Edinburgh, Scotland.
Tonight, the LGBTQ community is mourning the loss of a trailblazer. Jewel Tice Williams died earlier this month. She was the founder of Catch One, LA's first Black-owned LGBTQ+ nightclub. Jewel opened its doors in West Hollywood area in 1973 as an alternative to gay clubs that denied entry to Black people. Megastars like Donna Summer, Sharon Stone, and Janet Jackson frequented the venue. At a celebration of life this evening, Mayor Karen Bass says she wants to declare Catch One a historical landmark.
And so I look forward to working with our councilwoman, who I'm sure would support that, and do what we need to do, because people need to understand LGBTQ history, especially African-American LGBTQ history.
Jewel died on July 7th. She was 86 years old.
In Pasadena, a musical performance in support of people detained in immigration raids. This pop-up... So this was a pop-up concert held at a park just blocks from where 2 people were recently arrested in a federal immigration sweep. The musical group Los Jornaleros del Norte wanted the event to transform pain into a celebration with music, food, and dancing.
Just want to be here and support our community in any way we can. So yeah, just enjoying our time, having a good time, eating good food, and hanging out with good people.
The band has been helping communities heal with music for nearly 30 years. Well, artists take many forms, but at Comic-Con, you maybe wouldn't expect this one.
A man surrounded by superheroes on a mission to solve real-life crimes.